The sky burned like fire. It started with a shadow vast and unnatural stretching across the oceans and continents. People looked up and saw the impossible, a massive alien warship blotting out the sun. It was big enough to make mountains look. Small dot, then came the sound, a low hum, vibrating through the air, rattling windows and bones alike. Radios and televisions crackled as an alien voice deep and cold cut through every frequency at once. Humans, surrender. You are soft, you are weak, you will be pets. The voice carried no emotion, no anger, no joy. Just a statement. As if declaring the color of the sky, all over the world, panic spread like wildfire. People screamed in the streets. Governments scrambled to respond. Fighter jets launched, missiles armed, but it was too late. The fleets came down. Hundreds of alien ships pierced the clouds like blades, sleek and metallic, glowing with strange blue lights. But they didn't fire a single shot. Instead, they landed, and one by one, cities fell silent. No explosions, no bloodbaths. Just silence. As if the entire planet had been smothered under an invisible hand. On the outskirts of what was once Fort Liberty, Lieutenant Caravay woke up to pain. The air smelled of smoke and scorched earth. Her head throbbed. Blood trickled down her temple. Warm against her dirt-streaked skin, she tried to move but realized she was half buried under a chunk of broken concrete. Her memories came in flashes, the warning sirens, the blinding light, the earth shaking, then darkness. Kara gritted her teeth and shoved the debris off her chest as her vision cleared. Saw them. 2 alien soldiers. They were tall at least 7 feet with pale gray skin stretched over wiry muscles. Their faces were hidden behind sleek masks that glowed faintly at the edges. They didn't carry rifles or blades. It's just long, elegant staffs strapped to their backs. One of them had her friend. Sergeant Juno, heart slung over its shoulder like a sack of grain. Juno's head lolled to the side, unconscious. Kara's heart pounded. She felt for her sidearm. Gone. Her knife. Gone. Her eyes darted around the rubble until she saw a jagged piece of metal sticking out of a broken support beam. It wasn't much, but it was sharp. The aliens didn't notice her yet. They were speaking to each other in a strange, warbling tongue. Their voices were calm, relaxed. Kara's mind raced. They think I'm dead. Or too weak to fight good. Let them think that. She crawled forward. Fingers closing around the shard of metal. It cut into her palm. She didn't flinch. The alien started walking away. Kara pushed herself up, knees trembling, and charged. The first alien never saw her coming. With a roar, Kara rammed the shard into the soft spot under its arm. The creature let out a distorted shriek, staggering as dark blue blood spurted from the wound. The second alien spun around. Eyes glowing behind its mask, Kara didn't wait. She yanked the shard free and swung it upward, slashing across the aliens. Mask. Sparks flew. The creature stumbled back, hissing. Kara grabbed Juno's limp body and dragged her behind a crumbled wall just as the aliens recovered. One of them roared. Human. Kara's eyes narrowed. They didn't expect resistance. As she crouched behind the wall, her mind worked fast. These aliens, whoever they were, didn't carry guns. They relied on strength and intimidation. Overconfident. That's their weakness, Kara said. Juno downed gently and scanned the wreckage for anything useful. That's when she saw it. Half buried in the dirt was a strange, curved device, it looked like. A knife, but unlike any she'd seen before. Sleek metallic, with alien runes etched into the hilt. It pulsed faintly with blue light. Kara hesitated. Is it a weapon or a trap? The sound of approaching footsteps made the choice for her. She snatched up the knife. The alien soldiers rounded the corner. One raised its staff. In a glowing field of energy, hummed to life around it, Kara gripped the strange knife and pressed, her thumb against a small groove on the hilt. With a hiss, the blade came alive. A beam of blue energy extended from the hilt, humming softly. The air around it seemed to shimmer. Kara's reflection glimmered in the blade. For the first time in hours, a small smile tugged at her lips. If they want soft, she muttered. She stepped out from behind the wall, raising the blade. Give them sharp. The camera lingers on Kara as she faces the two towering aliens. The plasma knife glows bright in her hand. Storm kicks up behind her, debris swirling. The alien soldier growls, lowering its staff to strike. Fade to black. The city was dead. Ash drifted through the air like falling snow. Skyscrapers, once proud and shining, now stood as broken skeletons against a burning sky. And in the silence of it all, they laughed. 6 alien soldiers in gleaming armor walked side by side down the cracked streets. Their voices warbled in that strange, echoing language, their masks glowing faint blue in the shadows. These humans, they crumble like wet clay, one of them said. They're too soft for war. I almost pity them. The laughter rose. Again, they didn't see her, high above. In the shattered remains of an office building, Kara crouched low, her dark combat suit blending with the dust and ruin. Her knuckles were white around the hilt of the alien plasma knife. The blade pulsed softly, humming in her hand. She waited, breathing slow, heart steady. When the aliens passed below, she moved. A shadow sliding down crumbling concrete, silent, precise. The first alien didn't even have time to scream. A plasma blade hissed as it slid between the armor plates at its neck. The blue energy slicing clean through flesh and bone. The others spun in shock. Human, one barked. But Kara was already gone, rolling behind a burned-out vehicle. She darted to the left, coming up behind the second alien. A quick slash its suit sparked and failed as it crumpled to the ground. Now there were 4, and they were afraid. Their laughter was gone. "Where is she?" shouted one, waving its staff in panic. I can't see, the words turned to a gurgle as Kara's blade cut through its chest from behind. Blue blood sprayed across the cracked asphalt. The remaining 3 backed into a circle, staffs raised, scanning wildly. Kara's voice came from the darkness. "You called us soft." A hiss, a flash. Another alien fell, its mask cracked and leaking. But soft things can cut deep. The last 2 ran, but Kara didn't chase. She stood in the middle of the ruined street, her plasma blade glowing like a torch in the night. Her breathing was calm, her eyes cold. Around her lay 6 alien corpses. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity had drawn alien blood. Far above, aboard the Dominion flagship, Commander Threx watched the feed with unblinking eyes. The holoscreen replayed the slaughter again and again. One human had killed 6 of their elite soldiers. The room was silent at last. Threx spoke, his voice low and tight. "One human killed 6 of us." A subordinate shifted nervously. "Commander, perhaps we underestimated them." Threx's claws dug into the table. "I'd find her now." Flashback. 2 years earlier, the desert sun beat down as Kara stood before her commanding officer. Her fists clenched. "Lieutenant Vey, you're hereby dishonorably discharged for insubordination." The words hit harder than any bullet. Wanted to argue, to scream, but her mind kept replaying the moment. Civilians, trapped under fire, orders to retreat. She disobeyed. She went back for them, and she saved them. But rules were rules. As she handed over her tags, Kara swore to herself, "Never again will I let them decide who lives and dies." Present-day Kara crouched in an alley, carefully cleaning her stolen blade with a strip of cloth. Her hands moved with precision, every movement deliberate. The plasma knife was no ordinary weapon. It thrummed like it had a heartbeat, responding to her grip. In the days since she first found it, she had trained endlessly, cutting through wreckage, perfecting her strikes. The blade felt alive now, but so did she. A whisper in the shadows broke her focus. "Lieutenant Vey." Kara's head snapped up. A man in ragged clothes stepped from the darkness. Behind him, a small group of survivors watched her nervously. "Who are you?" Kara asked, keeping her blade low but ready. "We're resistance. We've been tracking you. I work alone." The man spread his hands. "You can't fight them by yourself. Join us. Together we can strike back." Kara shook her head. "Groups get noticed." She slipped past them, vanishing into the ruins. The psionic hunter later that night. Kara felt it. A strange tingling at the base of her skull. Pressure in the air. She spun, scanning the darkness. A voice echoed in her mind, not through her ears, but inside her head. You're not like the others. Kara's pulse quickened. A tall figure stepped from the shadows, wearing alien armor unlike any she had seen before. Its mask glowed blood red, and its hands crackled with psychic energy. You're dangerous. Kara raised her blade. You talk too much. The psionic elite tilted its head. Let's see if you can bleed like the rest. And then, it lunged. The alien's red energy collides with Kara's glowing blue blade. Sparks fly in the darkness as they circle each other. Fade to black. The Xyrix Dominion was no longer laughing. Across their invasion fleet, whispers spread like a virus. One human kills 6 of us. She uses our blades. They call her the Blade Demon. In the alien war halls, commanders barked. New orders. Capture the human alive. Do not kill her. But in the barracks, soldiers muttered under their breath. Some refused to patrol at night. Others tightened their armor straps and checked over their energy staffs again and again. This isn't supposed to happen, they thought. Humans were supposed to be soft, fragile, weak. But now, something hunted them in the shadows, and it didn't hunt for survival. It hunted for vengeance. Hook the convoy attack. Supply convoy crawled along the ruined highway. 4 armored alien transports rumbled over cracked asphalt. Each was flanked by walking sentinels, their glowing staffs sweeping side to side. Inside the lead vehicle, the Xyrix captain hissed into his comms. Stay alert. There are reports of activity in this sector. You mean her? A nervous soldier replied. The captain's claws tightened on the control panel. There is no her. There is no Blade Demon. It's just human propaganda. But even as he spoke, his eyes flicked nervously to the shadows beyond the headlights. Suddenly, a deafening boom. The lead vehicle pitched sideways as an explosion, ripped through its undercarriage. MBUSH. Before anyone could react, a blur darted from the wreckage. Kara, her combat suit smeared with ash and blood, her plasma knife glowing like a star in her hand. She moved like liquid shadow, sliding under a sentinel's staff and slashing upward. Sparks sprayed as the blade cut deep into alien armor. One alien screamed. Another tried to aim but fell as a spring-loaded trap snapped around its legs, yanking it into the air. Kara's voice carried over the chaos, calm and cold. You invaded my planet. This is the cost. By the time the last transport exploded, only one alien was left alive. It crawled backward, clutching a shattered leg. Gasping for air, Kara stepped out of the smoke and knelt over him. Her plasma knife hissed softly. Go back to your leaders. She raised the blade. Tell them. She carved 3 words into the alien's chest plate. We are not soft. Fear spreads hours later.
Ow.
Dominion officers stared at the wreckage on their Tholo- screens towards transports.
Ow.
20 elite soldiers. All destroyed. And that message? Carved into armor like a hunter's mark. This is impossible, one officer whispered. She's only one human. But deep inside, they all felt it. This wasn't war. This was terror. Kara and the civilians in the ruins of a small town. Kara crouched by a flickering fire. Her knife lay across her knees as she cleaned the blade. Footsteps approached. A child's voice broke the silence. Are you the knife woman? Kara looked up to see a small group of civilians, men, women, children standing nervously at the edge of the firelight. We saw you, said the child. On the alien broadcast. You fought them. Kara didn't answer. She didn't want followers. Followers got killed. But when she saw the hollow, desperate eyes of the civilians, her jaw tightened. Stay quiet. Stay hidden, she said at last. Can you protect us? An older woman asked. Kara looked away. I don't protect people anymore, she thought. But her hands clenched tighter around the blade. The Dominions answered the Xyrix were finished playing games. Deploy the hunter, Commander Threx growled. But sir, an aide stammered, The bioengineered prototype, do it. The humans need to see what true fear looks like. Hours later, a massive pod dropped from orbit into the Earth's surface. Inside, something snarled and began to dig. The beast hunts that night. Kara felt it. The air grew heavy. The firelight flickered as if choked by an unseen wind. She rose, slowly scanning the darkness. The civilians huddled together, whispering, and then she heard it. A low, guttural growl. Something massive moved through the rubble. Claws scraping against stone, two glowing yellow. Eyes blinked in the shadows. Kara gripped her plasma, knife tighter. The beast stepped forward into the light. It was huge easily, 12 feet tall, with black scales, glistening and long. Serrated, teeth dripping with saliva. It wasn't natural. It wasn't even fully alien parts of it. Looked human. Kara's stomach churned. They're making weapons out of us, she muttered. The beast roared, shaking the earth. Kara raised her blade. Let's dance. The beast lunged. Kara dives to the side as the monster's claws smash. Into the ground where she stood, sparks fly as her glowing blade meets the creature's snapping jaws, fade to black. The roar shattered the silence. It wasn't natural. It wasn't even alien. It was something worse, Kara. Vey gripped her plasma knife tighter as the massive creature stepped into the light. 12 feet tall, black scales like jagged armor, a twisted face of muscle and bone, part alien, part human, yellow eyes glowing with hunger. The civilians huddled behind her, too terrified to speak. The child she saved clung to her arm. The monster opened its mouth, revealing rows of serrated teeth, snarled and lunged. Hook. The beast attacked Kara barely rolled in time. The monster's claws slammed into the ground, splitting concrete like paper. She came up fast, slashing with her plasma knife. The blade hissed as it struck the creature's thick hide. Sparks flew, but the cut barely scratched. Kara's eyes widened. The knife isn't enough. The beast turned, its tail whipping through the air like a spear. Kara ducked, but the tail clipped her shoulder, sending her flying into a wall. Pain shot through her body. Her knife skittered across the ground. The civilian screamed as the monster stalked toward her. Kara's hand shook as she pushed herself up. Blood dripped down her arm. The beast roared again, loud enough to make her ears ring. Think, Kara. Don't fight its strength. Use its size. She grabbed a broken steel rod from the ground and jabbed it into a crack in the pavement. The beast charged at the last second. Kara dove aside. The monster's massive foot came down straight onto the rod. It roared in pain as the metal spike punctured its foot. Kara didn't waste the moment. She leapt onto its back, grabbed her plasma knife, and drove it hard into the creature's neck joint. The blade hissed. Sparks and black blood erupted. The monster shrieked, thrashing. Wildly, Kara held on as it slammed into walls, trying to shake her off. Come on. Just die already, she growled. Finally, the knife's energy core surged. The blade burned bright, cutting deeper. With one final roar, the beast collapsed. Shaking the ground, Kara rolled free as its body went still. The dark discovery, Kara stood over the carcass, breathing hard. Her plasma knife flickered and powered down. The monster's body twitched once, then lay still. But as she looked closer, her stomach turned. The scales were peeling back, revealing pale, scarred human skin. Beneath a human hand, her hands trembled. They didn't just make this thing. They twisted us into it. They're using human DNA, she whispered. They're turning us into weapons against ourselves. Resistance awakens days later. Hacked alien broadcasts flickered across stolen screens. Footage showed Kara fighting the monster. Plasma knife glowing bright. Her final strike. The words she carved into alien armor appeared next. We are not soft. Around the world, small resistance groups rose up. They attacked alien patrols. They sabotaged supply lines. Kara's legend spread to the Xyric soldiers. She became more than human. She became a symbol of fear. The Blade Demon. The Dominion's rage on, the Dominion flagship. Commander Threx watched the chaos unfold. Humans were fighting back. His soldiers were afraid. Threx's claws scraped the table. Enough of this game. Sir, she's only one woman who's destabilizing an entire occupation. Threx's voice turned cold. Prepare the cleansing fleets. If we cannot break them, we will burn their world to ash. Kara's warning that night. Kara stared at a captured alien radio. The civilians she protected were asleep. Safe for now, she picked up the radio and adjusted the frequency. Static. Then a faint alien voice. She pressed transmit. This is Karave, to the Dominion commander. There was silence. Then Threx's voice answered, sharp and venomous. Ah, the blade demon. You're a difficult insect to crush. Kara's grip tightened on the mic. You wanted soft prey. She smiled. Faintly, you got wolves instead. She cut the transmission. On the Dominion flagship, alarms blared. Commander Threx stared at the console, his jaw tight. Prepare every fleet. Burn the planet if you must. But bring me her head. On Earth, Kara's plasma knife flickered too. Life again. She looked at the dark sky. Come and try. Fade to black. The skies burned red. Alien warships hovered over every major city, their cannons raining plasma fire on buildings and streets below. In the chaos, humanity ran, hid, and prayed for survival. But some fought back. Hook, the knife war begins on. The edge of a smoldering city, a small band of humans crouched in the rubble. Their weapons? Knives. Not human knives, alien ones. Blades that hummed with energy stolen from dead Xyrix soldiers, and leading them, Karave. Her plasma knife glowed bright as she raised it high. Remember, she whispered, her voice steady. They fear these blades now. Stay close, stay silent, hit them fast, and disappear. The fighters nodded, men and women, soldiers, and farmers alike. Now warriors. Kara's eyes narrowed as she watched an alien patrol approach a line of Xyrix soldiers marching with mechanical precision. Soft prey, she muttered under her breath. Let's show them sharp claws. The aliens reached the ambush point. Kara struck first. Her knife hissed as it slid through alien armor. Sending sparks and blue blood flying, the resistance fighters leapt from the shadows, blades flashing like lightning. The aliens tried to form ranks but panicked as their comrades fell, one after another. The knives. One screamed in their guttural language. The patrol broke, fleeing back toward their base. The humans melted into the ruins. Leaving behind only dead soldiers and carved words on alien armor, we are not soft. Fear among the Xyrix on board. The Dominion flagship commander Threx slammed his clawed fist onto the console. Why are my soldiers refusing to patrol? An aide trembled. Sir, they say the humans are using the blades now. They call them resonance knives, Threx snarled. Deploy the mechs. I want no soldiers on foot, not until that woman is dead. The training of wolves in the forests beyond the cities, Kara trained her fighters. Alien armor is strong, but it has joints. Strike there. Her movements were fluid, precise, as she demonstrated a killing blow. Don't rely on strength. Use speed. Use surprise. Men, women, and even teenagers followed her lead. Each held a glowing blade, humming softly in their hands. These weren't just resistance fighters anymore. They were predators. Human innovation in a hidden underground. Lab engineers studied, captured Xyrix tech. Kara watched as they held up a new weapon on. Resonance blade. It's based on their plasma knives, one scientist explained, but stronger, more stable, and it doesn't drain energy as fast. Kara gripped one of the prototypes. It felt good in her hand. This will change everything. The facility raid, but the Dominion wasn't finished. Rumors spread of an alien research facility deep in the mountains, where horrific experiments were taking place. Kara knew she had to see it for herself. At night, she slipped past sentry drones and climbed the steel walls. Inside, the air smelled sterile and cold. She moved like a shadow, a resonance blade humming faintly in a control room. Kara hacked into the alien systems, scrolling through files and images. What she found made her blood run cold. The horrifying truth: harvesting human DNA, bioengineered hybrids, breeding farms. Kara's stomach turned as she read the words. Images flashed on the screen: humans locked in cages, tubes running into their veins, alien scientists observing as they injected them with strange fluids. They're twisting us into weapons. Her hands trembled in rage. And now, they're planning to harvest the entire population. The challenge. Kara picked up the alien radio. This is Kara Vey. On the Dominion flagship, Commander Threx froze. You again. His voice was calm, deadly. You wanted soft prey. She tightened her grip on the blade. You got wolves instead. Threx bared his teeth. Prepare planetary cleansing. Wipe them all out, every last one. Her blade glowing like a promise. The war had changed, and this time humanity was hunting. Above Earth, in the cold void of space, the Dominion Council gathered. 10 alien leaders sat in a darkened chamber aboard the massive warship for Kesh. Their voices were low, tense. These humans, they're using our weapons against us, hissed a spindly admiral. How? Growled another, his 4 eyes flashing red. A third leaned forward, claws tapping on the holotable. It's her. The room fell silent. The knife woman. Even hardened Dominion warlords shuddered at the name. The admiral's claws curled. One human shouldn't change a war, but she has, another whispered. The holoscreen flickered to life, showing Kara Vey her resonance. Blade glowing as she led humans in battle. The leader's voice was low and venomous. Bring me. Her head? Hook, the orbital assault below. On Earth, the war raged. Alien dropships descended like locusts, raining fire on cities and forests. But in one sector, the humans weren't running anymore. They were fighting back and leading them. Was Kara? Her combat suit was scorched. Her blade hummed like a living thing. She crouched on a ridge with her team of resistance fighters, watching a Dominion dropship unload supplies. That ship's loaded with plasma cannons, one fighter whispered. Kara's eyes narrowed. Then, let's take it. The plan was simple. Hit fast. Hit hard. Kara moved first, sliding down the ridge like a ghost. The others followed, knives drawn. When the first alien spotted her, it raised its rifle. Too slow. Kara's blade cut through its weapon and armor in one clean motion. The humans swarmed the landing site, hacking and slashing with their resonance. Knives alien soldiers fell in seconds. Before the Dominion could react, Kara was at the controls of the dropship. Let's see how they like their own weapons, she muttered. The ship's plasma turrets whirred as Kara turned them on the alien forces below. In moments, the invaders were reduced to ash, the rising tide all across the globe. Resistance. Groups struck at the Dominion. Ambushes, sabotage, raids. For the first time since the invasion began. Humanity wasn't just surviving, they were winning. But even victory had its cost at night. Kara sat alone by a dying fire. Her hands trembled as she cleaned. Her blade, flashes of the monsters she killed, the screams of her fallen friends, the burning cities, it all came back in waves. Her breath quickened. She closed her eyes. Not now. Not here. The traitor back at the resistance base. Kara's team celebrated their latest victory. But in the shadows, a figure whispered into a stolen alien communicator. She's planning another assault. I'll send coordinates. Dominion flagship Commander Threx's eyes narrowed. Could the Blade Woman walks into her own grave? The ambush the next mission was simpler, so they thought. Kara and her team crept through a bombed-out alien outpost, searching for a Dominion data core. But something felt wrong. Too quiet, Kara raised her hand, signaling her team to stop. Hold. A faint click echoed through the rubble. Tripwires. Mines. Too late. Alien soldiers burst from hidden alcoves, plasma rifles blazing. Ambush. The resistance fought back fiercely, but they were outnumbered. One by one, Kara's fighters fell. She spun, her blades slicing through to attackers, but more kept coming. A heavy footstep behind her. Kara turned to slow. The barrel of a plasma rifle pressed to her forehead. An alien commander loomed over her, its crimson armor gleaming. "You've caused enough damage, human." Kara stared into the alien's glowing eyes. Her knife hummed faintly in her hand, but the alien's claw squeezed the trigger. "Goodbye, Blade Demon." To black. The cold metal floor burned against Kara's skin. Her hands were bound behind her back with alien restraints, tight bands of glowing energy that stung with every movement. Above her, towering in the shadows, stood the Xyrix Overlord. His skin was like obsidian. His eyes glowed faint yellow, unblinking, as he studied her like a predator eyeing prey. "So, this is the famous knife woman," he said, voice deep and calm. Kara didn't flinch. "You're wasting your time," the Overlord tilted his head. "Your species is fascinating, so fragile, so soft, yet you cut deeper than any blade." Circled her slowly, his claws clicking on the metal floor. "You've killed my soldiers, stolen my ships. You've turned my technology against me." He stopped in front of her, leaning close. "But tell me, was it worth it?" Kara glared up at him. "Every drop of alien blood says yes." The Overlord smiled faintly. "You have spirit. Good. That means I can offer you a choice." He raised one clawed hand. "Pray your people. Help me crush the human resistance, and I will give you life." His other claw clenched into a fist. "Refuse, and you will die screaming." "Hook." The Overlord's threat Kara spat at his feet. "You still don't get it, do you?" Her voice was calm. "You think fear makes us weak? But fear makes us dangerous." The Overlord's eyes narrowed. "So be it." He motioned to the guards. "Take her to the spire. Break her until she begs." Two Xyrix soldiers grabbed Kara's arms and dragged her through the metallic corridors of the flagship. Her mind raced. "I'm not done yet. Not by a long shot." The escape hours later. In a holding cell high in the ship's spire, Kara sat chained to a wall. The guards had left her alone, confident she couldn't escape. They didn't notice the small shard of a resonance blade hidden in her boot. When the time was right, she twisted her foot, grabbed the shard between her fingers, and began sawing at her restraints. Sparks flew. Come on. The energy bands flickered and snapped. Kara moved fast. Two guards entered, their weapons ready. She ducked low, driving the blade fragment into the first alien's knee joint. He roared in pain and collapsed. Before the second could fire, she lunged forward, grabbing his plasma rifle and slamming the butt into his face. Blue blood sprayed across the cell. Kara took the rifle and bolted into the corridor. The sabotage of the flagship was massive twisting corridors, glowing energy conduits, hundreds of alien soldiers. But Kara knew where to go. The ship's core, if she could destroy it, she could cripple the Dominion's fleet. Along the way, she scavenged explosives from an armory, planting them on fuel cells and reactors. As alarms blared, Kara slipped into the central chamber. The core hummed with energy, surrounded by a force field. She set the last explosive. "For Earth," she whispered, "humanity prepares far below, on Earth." Resistance fighters rallied in hidden bases. Stolen alien ships hovered in makeshift hangars. Men and women armed with resonance blades and plasma rifles listened to their new leaders. "This is our last chance," said one. "If Kara succeeds, the Dominion fleet will be in chaos. That's when we strike." Across the planet, humanity prepared for a final, desperate battle. The confrontation, as Kara armed the detonator, a low hiss echoed through the core chamber. She froze. From the shadows stepped the Xyrix Overlord. His long black cloak flowed behind him. In his hand, he held a massive Bladalian steel that pulsed with red energy. "You really think you can end us human?" he growled. Kara raised her knife, her eyes locked on his. "You wanted war? Now you've got one," the Overlord snarled. "If you want war, you'll have to bleed for it." The Overlord lunged, his blade swinging in a deadly arc. Kara dodged. Barely avoiding the strike, the two blades clashed, sending sparks flying as the ship shook from distant explosions. The detonator in Kara's hand blinked red. Time was running out. The sky was on fire. Alien warships blotted out the sun as their plasma cannons rained. Death on Earth's surface, entire cities crumbled, oceans boiled, forests burned, and yet humanity stood. Kara stared out from the bridge of a stolen Dominion cruiser, her resonance blade in hand. Behind her, a ragtag human fleet floated in orbit, packed together ships, bristling with stolen alien weapons. This was it, the final battle. Hook, humanity's last standown, the Dominion flagship Verkesh. The Overlord watched the humans gather. His claw tapped the armrest of his throne. They come to die. An aide glanced nervously at him. They're using our own tech, our own ships. The Overlord's voice was low, venomous, and yet they are still soft. Crush them, Tov Earth. Kara gripped the cum unit. This is Kara to all fighters. Her voice was calm, steady. We are outnumbered, outgunned, but we are not out of fight. They called us soft, they called us weak. Her blade hissed to life, glowing bright blue. Show them the edge of humanity. The fleet erupted in cheers. The battle began, alien and human. Ships collided in a furious storm of fire and steel. Missiles streaked across the void. Plasma beams cut ships in half. Kara's cruiser weaved through the chaos, dodging blasts and returning. Fire with stolen Dominion cannons. Her eyes locked on the flagship at the center. I'm coming for you, she whispered. The duel begins. Kara's ship smashed into the Verkesh with a deafening crash. Air hissed as she leapt through the breach. Resonance blade glowing in one hand, pistol in the other. Alien guards swarmed. Her too slow, she moved like a shadow, cutting through armor, deflecting plasma bolts, leaving a trail of blue blood behind. At last, she reached the throne room. The Overlord stood waiting, its own plasma blade ignited, pulsing with red light. You are persistent, human. Kara raised her blade. And you talk too much. Without warning, they clashed. Zero gravity combated as the ship's gravity failed. They floated into open space through a shattered hull. Stars spun around them. As they battled in zero gravity, blade met blade in bursts of light. Sparks flew. Every strike was life or death. Kara flipped over him, slashing at his armored back. The Overlord countered, swinging his massive blade in a deadly arc. Pray, he snarled. Kara growled back. She drove her blade deep into his chest. Humanity rises inside Earth's orbit. The human fleet pushed forward. One by one, Dominion ships fell. Resistance fighters cheered as the alien fleet broke formation. They're retreating. Is retreating. Kara floated in the void, bloodied but alive. Her cum crackled to life. Kara, it's over. Did it. She looked down at the defeated Overlord drifting, lifeless in the blackness. Her grip on her blade loosened. She let it go. Watching it tumble away into the stars across the galaxy, whispers spread. The humans of Earth. Fragile, soft, weak, but deadly. Other alien races began to fear the words carved into Dominion armor. We are not soft. Back on Earth. Kara stood among the survivors, staring at the horizon. Let's hope, she murmured. They don't make us pick up the knives again. Fade. Too black.